Alrighty, we are live from the new background. Alrighty, gonna start around 3 o'clock. So about 4 minutes, we'll start. Got some big news coming up in this week's episode. Whew. Almost ready to start. Just gonna give 2 more minutes and we will be in. few more seconds and we will begin. All right. Let's begin. Hold on 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Welcome. What's up, everybody? Welcome back for episode 19 of the Benny and Booth podcast. On this week's episode, which will be a short one, we've got the Pro Bowl to recap. We've got the Super Bowl to preview with my prediction. Other NFL news to talk about. The future of the podcast beyond the Super Bowl. And plenty of other things coming up on this week's episode of the podcast. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 19 of the podcast. It is crazy. We are almost at 20 episodes of the podcast. Thank you for all the support to this point. We are very close to the subscriber goal, literally 4 subscribers away as of the time of this recording from 75 subscribers. And if we get to 75 subscribers, I will do an early access opening night MLB The Show 22 stream happens to be just realized April Fool's. And no, it's not going to be an April Fool's joke. If we actually get to the goal, it will legitimately be on April Fool's for you guys if we get to the subscriber goal by then. Let's start off with some news outside. Obviously, I'm in a whole different background that has never been on the podcast before. I have actually moved into I'm now in a whole new house for years. I don't know exactly how long, but this will be my new temporary New York background for a while, as renovating the old house I was in, which is still crazy to say, but yeah, it was gonna happen at some point, and now it's starting. So I'm gonna be here now. It is a bit messy being that I recently moved in, but it'll probably be cleaner more over time. Let's get into this week's episode of the podcast. NFL Pro Bowl. I'll admit I did not watch much of this game. I watched a bit, and what really threw me off was like Thursday they had a skills competition, which is like, okay, fine. You see players like do fun events, like cool, like fine. The problem was it wasn't even live. They pre-did it and then put it live on TV. And the minute I saw it, I'm just like, really? Like, seriously? Like, come on. Really, NFL? And I found this out through a YouTuber that I watches live commentary on it. Shout out to Chisel Adonis, great YouTuber, makes great content on YouTube, is a Steelers fan. Check him out. I didn't put his link in the description, but you can look him up on YouTube. Chisel Adonis, great content. Maybe I can have him on the podcast at some point. That'd be great. But anyways, that pretty much just ruined the whole Pro Bowl weekend for me. And it's just sad that wasn't even live. That just was like a dumper. And it didn't have anything to do with the fact that Nick Chubb was involved in any events. It was more of just like, I know players don't care about the Pro Bowl, but at least everything should be live and not like pre-done. And I know the Pro Bowl probably wasn't, but just the fact that like the skills competition was just kind of ruins. I definitely agree to that, Jigga Man. 420. Though there are certain people I know that probably look at you like you're crazy. Well, look at you like you're crazy, but might disagree with that. But I definitely agree. Uh, go Browns. Um, but anyways, so Pro Bowl I watched a bit, but I didn't watch a lot. So I'm just gonna go over the scoring plays, and that's really it from the Pro Bowl. So AFC NFC Pro Bowl 2021. Here's a heads up. This was a lot of defense in this game. A lot of the touchdowns were defensive plays. Let's get into it. And speaking about defensive plays, the scoring started off with a 45-yard pick six by Darius Leonard off Kyler Murray and got the AFC off to a good start. Then the NFC responded with a 14-yard touchdown pass from Kirk Cousins to Kyle Juszczyk of the 49ers, the Juszczyk. Following that was a 15-yard touchdown pass from Justin Herbert to Mark Andrews, one of two touchdowns on the day Mark Andrews had, both from Justin Herbert. That was followed up by Antoine Winfield right at the end of the first quarter, 63-yard pick six off the AFC. Then the AFC in the second quarter had a strip sack by TJ Watt, recovered by Myles Garrett, taking 22 yards for a touchdown. Kyler Murray had a 19-yard touchdown pass to Mike Evans. Justin Herbert had a 7-yard touchdown pass to Mark Andrews. Mac Jones had a 6-yard touchdown pass to Hunter Renfrow. Stephon Diggs had a 4-yard rushing touchdown, which got AFC to 41. I'm not going to even talk about the extra point system because it's just weird and odd with the Pro Bowl and all the fourth down thing. And I'm not going to get into it. If you want to know about it, look it up. I'm sorry, but it's just like messy and a wreck. And then Kyler Murray threw back-to-back 5-yard touchdowns. I mean, not on back-to-back drives, but back-to-back scoring results because AFC didn't score any points. One to Kyle Pitts and one to Dalvin Cook, and that was all the scoring. As the AFC won for the fifth consecutive year over the NFC, 41-35. I wish I could care more for the Pro Bowl, but it's just not as exciting, and just the whole pre-recorded thing from the events just like ruined it. Someone mentioned Jiggaman 420 mentioned a whole something I do want to talk about, and I guess I'll jump into this right now. I think Kyler might be going to baseball for Oakland. Did you see he removed all the Cardinal stuff from his social media accounts? Yes, I did see that, and I was actually watching a video a little bit before this of like 3 possibilities. I forgot the third one, but one of them was baseball. One of them is maybe he wants to be traded. Let me see if I can pull up what the third one was. Because the third one was a creative idea. I just want to pull it up. So just give me a second here. I actually forgot to even write to mention that, but thank you for reminding me to talk about that.
So Kyler Murray just unfollowed the
Third possibility. Oh, the Cardinals' social media account has a height requirement, which I mean I doubt, but it would be funny if that's true. But I did see that Jiggaman 420, and thank you for reminding me about that, because otherwise I would have forgotten to mention that on the podcast completely. So shout out to you for reminding me about that, and thank you for the reminder. Anyways, let's get back to topic at hand. I was going to talk about the Super Bowl prediction right away, but there is a topic that came out right after the Pro Bowl that I want to talk about first, and that is that the Saints are completely screwed next year. Not just because of the dead cap they have, and I will go over cap situations going into next year, future podcast, but Alvin Kamara just got arrested for battery, and it looks like it's going to be a 5-year arrest. And that really screws up the Saints because they were not expecting to have problems with Alvin Kamara next year. And now who knows what the running back situation is going to be, especially over the cap. So we'll see what happens there. So Super Bowl 56 prediction, and I sat on this for a while. I did not have a prediction firm until literally like yesterday, even Sunday, I would say. And I sat back and forth on this because this is going to be a great game. And I'm going to say my two determining factors on this game, and then I'm going to give you my pick. The factors are going to be, can the Bengals limit the damage from Aaron Donald and Von Miller? I don't think they're going to be able to stop Von Miller and Aaron Donald, but can they at least limit the damage? That's going to be one crucial part. The other crucial part to this is, what Matthew Stafford are we going to get? Are we going to get the Matthew Stafford that's been great this year, or are we going to get Matthew Stafford that's literally been like the Detroit Lions Matthew Stafford? So, my actual prediction, and I have a reason behind my prediction, and I will be saying my reason behind my prediction. My prediction for this game, Super Bowl 56, is Cincinnati. And here's my reason. The last, honestly, you would say since 2010 and beyond, has been years of curses being broken. The Cubs, the Astros, even though technically some people say it's tainted, the Dodgers, the Nationals, who else? Hockey, there are a few examples. Blues. I was going over with a hockey fan. That's how I remembered some of these. Blues, Capitals. And it's just been a lot over the last couple of years. And I think this is Cincinnati's year to break their own curse. Now, you might come back and say to me, well, when's the last time the Rams won the Super Bowl? And I say, well, it's been some time, but nowhere as near as long as the Bengals. Bengals have never won a Super Bowl. Heck, the Rams have been in a Super Bowl more recent than the Bengals have. The Bengals haven't been in a Super Bowl since 1988. The Rams have been twice more recent than that. They were in the 1999 when they won it with Gray's Show and Turf, and they were in the first year Brady won a ring, which obviously they lost. So I think this is the year that Cincinnati ends their curse and wins. So my prediction is the Cincinnati Bengals. Could I be wrong? Yeah. Could I be right? Yeah. We'll see what happens. But it's really going to come down to those big factors. And what's interesting is, like, last year, I actually got my prediction right. And my determining factor was what happened. I picked last year Tampa Bay because I said I'm concerned about the Chiefs being down. They're two of their best offensive linemen last year going to the Super Bowl. And boy, did it come back to bite the Chiefs in the tuchus, because Mahomes had no time to throw against good defensive line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers were able to hold the Chiefs to not even a touchdown and win the Super Bowl. And this year, I think the Bengals will win. So the future of the podcast. Obviously, as everyone knows, this coming Sunday is the Super Bowl. So next week, which will be episode 20, will be the last time I can have football for a while. And that means, well, what am I going to do with the podcast once football season ends? And if you're going to try to say hiatus and just hold off till baseball, not happening. Especially with the lockout. We don't even know whether there's going to be a baseball season, or even if there is, when the baseball season is going to start. We don't know anything because the lockout is still going on. So I'm here to tell you that I'm going to do NBA after episode 20. So episode 21, probably through once baseball starts, even as baseball starts until the NBA season ends, hopefully, I plan to actually, talk about basketball. I'm going to sit down and watch highlights every day so I can muster up something each episode. But I do plan to put out podcasts even after the Super Bowl. It will be NBA. And once again, if you want to mention something I should talk about NBA, let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comments. I'm open. Especially since, like, it's going to be interesting to muster up something each week. Obviously, there have been some big trades in the NBA actually today. Sabonis is going from the Pacers to the Kings. and CJ McCollum is going from Portland to New Orleans. But overall, I'm open to whatever, and even if it's not NBA, maybe something MLB pops up between now and then. Hopefully, it will be the lockout ending. Maybe something NFL will pop up even after the Super Bowl I could talk about. Who knows? But I do plan to talk about NBA. College basketball won't be till March Madness, but I will be talking about NBA after the Super Bowl, just so I have some sort of content as we wait for MLB to hopefully have a season at some point. But that's the update on the podcast. And obviously, a lot of the episodes will be from this location now and not the other location that would be of my house in New York. And that's this week of the episode of the podcast. Let's wrap it up. Hold on, there's actually, before we wrap up, sorry, someone just mentioned something in the chat I want to note. As a Browns fan, it makes me sick seeing Cincinnati and OBJ in the Super Bowl, but I dislike OBJ so much, and I'd rather see Burrow pull off the upset. This was supposed to be the Browns' year. I agree it was supposed to be the Browns' year. It's an interesting point. I didn't even, think about that. Interesting perspective on it. Though it definitely is annoying to see both OBJ and the Bengals in the Super Bowl. But I didn't really. My prediction was not based off AFC North or Browns biasness at all. My prediction was flat out my own personal opinion. Indeed, speechless. I don't know what this ver.life in the chat is. So whoever that is, maybe if you could put better English maybe to that, I could give a proper response. Yes, I am a Browns fan. I am a Browns fan. Definitely a Browns fan. So let's now wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming back for this week's episode of the podcast, episode 19. Next week, we'll have the Super Bowl to recap. Who ends up winning, the Rams at home, though they aren't the home team, or the Bengals? We'll have hopefully some other news to talk about. And who knows what else could pop up between now and then. Maybe some of the NBA pops up. The deadline actually is this week, so maybe I'll even talk about that next episode, about what trades go on the rest of the week. Thank you so much for watching. Big news to talk about. I am starting to do episodes recorded. This week I was not able to start. I wanted to try to, but couldn't get to work. But through this app called Anchor, which is connected to Spotify, I learned about a podcast, the Sports Talk podcast by Yerachmiel Levi. Shout out to him. He kind of has it on YouTube, not really, more of on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Go check out the podcast. Great podcast. Hope to have him on the podcast in the future. And if he's watching, shout out to him. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll get them on audio soon. Once they do, I will get a link to the podcast via Spotify or Anchor in the description. For now, it's just to be put in. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Let's get to 75 subscribers by March 31st. See you next week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.